This is Colin Dijs, and in this video you'll see a replay of a live masterclass where we do a native advertising campaign review, where we basically get our students on a call and review everything that they want us to have a look at. If you're interested in joining these calls, there's a link in the description. 2 trainings every single week. And where we have fun, discuss everything. It's a long masterclass, so sit tight. You will learn tons. There's tons of golden nuggets there. And if you like this video, feel free to give it a thumbs up. This is Colin Dijs. I'm here on this amazing masterclass today. Today is Thursday, July 8th, 2021, and we'll do some campaign reviews. Mr. Ready, are you ready? That is the question. You're up first. You want to do a screen share?
Sure. This is my first campaign, so I just need some help. Some guidance on this.
That will be dangerous. I hope you're full of motivation, because this might not go well, but we'll see.
I know. I'm ready for it.
You're ready for it. All right.
I know I'm going to get some class from you. So can you see my screen?
Yeah.
So just to give you a little background, I just started a new offer in Mexico, which I tried to test it over the last weekend, but the confusion what I got, I think I pinged you also, is like it's not tracking ICTR or impressions in Devereaux. And there's no widget ID. So that's where I checked with NGID. They said that I followed up with you also. Once I put the campaign URL, it's changing automatically. And then I could check with NGID manager. He said it looks fine. It automatically changes, but they are saying that everything is tracking. You should follow with the volume.
Yes. Okay, so the impressions are not being tracked because they don't have an impression parameter, right? So the impressions are never being tracked for MGID. The widget should be tracked, and I checked your link, and you broke the parameter, right? You had widget is sub widget parameter, which is not real code. It's not the right parameter to put there. So if you would run it now, it would pull in the parameter, but not the impressions, because MGID doesn't pass that parameter.
So one thing, that specific question, I think I didn't change anything. I was putting the campaign URL, which I'm getting it. There is a widget ID is equal to widget ID in curly bracket. But as soon as I put it in the image URL, that campaign URL, it automatically changing in MGID. And they said that it is okay, and it is tracking, everything is good. You should follow with your tracker has support desk to find out why it is not getting.
Well, then do that, because I don't work for support.
Yeah, so that's where the gap is like, okay, what support said is, this is the campaign URL. So basically I'm in the middle. I think everybody says that, okay, we are good, but I'm not sure where the problem is.
Well, perhaps then go to that specific party. Of course, here with 20 people, I'm not going to dive into your tech setup, because that is something I don't think anybody's interested here.
Theo has some raised a hand. Is there anybody faced any kind of issue problem?
I can't see everybody. Hang on. Yeah, Theo, go ahead.
You said, did you say that MGID doesn't track impressions?
It doesn't pass the parameter, no.
Never, no, never.
Well, you muted, yeah. So with the integration that it's set up, it doesn't pass the impressions. But it's not big of a deal, because you can just look in MGID and then it's fine.
Yeah, correct.
Sudhakar, hang on. We're not going to do this. Yes, if I wasn't clear, we're not going to do this. We're not going to go over your tech stack on this call, because you're wasting people's time.
No, that's right. But I'm just saying, like, because there is an impression tracking here I enabled on the MGID just to,
Yeah, but that's not how it works. If you don't know how that works, then obviously it's not going to do anything, because that is global. That's for every single network. It will display it.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, okay. So let's talk about your campaign.
Okay.
Well, please elaborate on what you've done.
Yeah. I just if you look at initially added 9 widgets, and after that added 10 more widgets, but I paused it. So the rest of the 10 didn't get much impressions, but I just got two conversions. Actually, in ad combo it is showing 3, but it is showing 2 here. So if you look at ads, what I did is,
yeah, what did we do?
I'm just showing all that data.
Because looking at this data, I already have quite some questions.
Yeah, sure.
Can I ask them, or do you want to explain more?
Yes. Yeah. So what I did is here, if I'm just trying to sort this.
Yeah. Can we keep talking? Because obviously,
yeah, sure.
No disrespect to the car, but this is really boring for everybody. We have no idea what you're trying to explain to us.
Yeah, sure. So what I was trying to show is the impressions. There are more impressions, but I'm not able to show all the.
That's fine. Let's go one step back, and I'll just ask you the question so you get the answers you want. Okay. Let's go one step back to the campaign overview. Well, I see more than 1 million impressions, right? That's correct.
Yes.
Yes. All right. What was the highest ICTR achieved on this campaign, or at least the most favorable ad? You know by heart?
Yeah, 0.6.
0.6.
0.6.
All right.
Yeah.
For Mexico, that's not really that great, right? The question is, when we look relative impressions relative to teasers, every teaser in this scenario has gotten quite a lot of impressions. Okay. And the question is why?
Yeah, so one of the things I thought of asking is the Facebook app. That is one which is getting a lot of impressions. So I'm not sure if that is a real traffic, or I don't know if that is. But
that's a placement, traffic. Yes?
Yeah.
So the question is, you have 19 different ads, yes? Which together accumulate to almost 1.1 million impressions, right?
Yes.
Why did you feed so many impressions to one creative, or in this scenario, 19 creatives? Because looking at our preset rules, we could have tested a lot more creatives with this amount of impressions. And with a scenario where your ICTR is only 0.6%, there could be a lot of potential which you have wasted money here, where it is less effective what you're doing. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So the question is, did you not have time to add more creatives? You didn't want to, or you just didn't think about it?
Yeah, so that's where I think I started with 9, and then after that I added 10. But I was thinking of adding more, but with this tracking thing, I just paused it and just thought of getting your direction, and then go from there.
Okay, that's fine. So what I will do, because this looks like garbage, yes, this is terrible. The results and the whole setup of the campaign looks like a nightmare. I will do a little write-up for you, okay? What the rules are, again, 10,000 impressions, headlines last, images first, and then, because if you don't have these assets prepared at the start of your campaign, and you are in shortage of time, or you experience other difficulties, as long as the campaign spends, the impressions go up, right? And then what happens is these extra impressions, they cost money, and you could have tested at least more teasers in this scenario because 0.6%, we would at least in Mexico want 1.5% minimum, right? So there you would have a huge opportunity on the table next time, right? It's just a lesson. And in this example, it's a cheap lesson. It's not thousands of dollars. It's only $200. It's fine, right? This is not gonna hurt us. So take these steps and then we'll figure it out. No problem here. But definitely the impression is the biggest lesson here. Thea?
Okay, sure.
Excuse me, what is a teaser and the widget, the difference?
The widget is the placement where the traffic is coming from, and the teaser is the ad creative.
Oh, so teaser equals creative, right?
Yes, teaser is creative. Yeah, they just give it the name teaser in this specific ad exchange.
I see, okay.
Yeah, but the widget is like basically a universal term for the native advertising placement.
Yeah. Thanks.
All right. Sudhakar, a follow-up question, or this is it?
Yeah, this is it. So I'll add more images and test more images, and then start pausing based on the more than 10,000. If there is no traction, just pause it and then go to the next. Add more creative. Is that?
Yeah, add more creatives while applying a CPA rule, and with COD, you probably want to do at least 2, maybe 3 times CPA because the payouts are relatively low. Right, so if you have a $9 payout, I would probably in Mexico want to give it 2.5 times CPA, not 1 time CPA. So that would give you a little bit of a better structure. But I know how you do things, so I would just send you a list, yes, so you can do it on your own time. Yeah, it's fine.
Okay, thanks.
So you can consume it properly. Not a problem. Anybody else who has a campaign on which we can glance over quickly, read some data, pull in some information? Everybody's shy now. Assumingly, all of you would be running campaigns at this point, or at least 90% of you. And I know people here who have submitted headlines. Pablo, you submitted headlines today. I've seen them. Yeah, you think I'm not active in that chat, but I read everything, right? But then you have the opportunity to get those additional insights, right? Hassan, did you select the offers with Ross? Yes?
Yes, we select the offers. I do yesterday the headlines, 30 headlines. And today I want to go with the images for the 3 sub-angles. I want to do 20 images per sub-angle. And yes, I'm now on the stage. I will create the campaign this week, I think. But yesterday I looked your video, was you hosted with Ross. I tried to follow. You give a good tip for ad combo. You say they're the preset for the URLs. I tried this, and everything was okay till I go to hosting, and then the whole site was prepped. I have to fix this. I have to look where the problem is, and
it's the alignment of the folders. Yes, so if the folders, so let's say the images are, I said that images have a direct display name. Yes, if it doesn't match with the code, it breaks. But it's the same structure of the folders. So one zip file has multiple folders. Yeah, if you move these folders around or you don't upload all the folders, the HTML breaks.
Yeah, I upload every single folder. I try 2 times with two pre-lender. Both of them was prepped. I tried this today again. I will try to fix it as fast as possible to do the campaign go online.
All right. Well, it appears that everybody has technical difficulties, but it is really not that difficult.
Yeah, since now I hadn't, but with ad combo I don't know. I have to look maybe.
Well, of course, if you play around in the code, it's obviously quite sensitive, right? So there could be some problems as a result of that, but I'm sure this will be an easy one to fix. Otherwise, you give it to Russ, and Russ does a test on the S3 server and can see if it's your fault or just your hosting fault.
Okay, right? Great.
We can double check. All right, guys, come on. Is there nobody here who has some inspiration, thoughts, things to review? Because you came here to see some stuff, right? Well, you cannot see if you don't share. Will be an easy one for me because I've been speaking with Eleno for an hour. I have an hour call after this. So I've been really busy today. You guys will cut me some slack. Everybody's just looking like, oh, I will give it just one more minute and then I'll say something because I don't really want to say. We could do a pop quiz though. Pop quiz would be cool if there's no campaigns. Who would rather do a campaign review than a pop quiz? Nobody. See, yeah, okay, 1, 2 hands. Okay, fair enough. Yeah, but there's no campaigns. That's why the energy, energy needs to be high. I'm always the one talking. Usually we do a little bit of a round robin. We ask some questions. We get the flow going. But if everybody's like, I don't want to share anything. I just want to steal other people's information. That's what I'm here for. Then it's not going to go well, you know what I'm saying? Then the flow is just going to be a tad boring. Yeah, why? Like, go ahead. What's up?
Okay, if nobody wants to share, maybe we can take a look at my campaign.
Oh, see, there we go. Slowly but surely, the OGs come back and save the day. Yes, of course. Why we can take a look at your campaign. I would love to take a look at your campaign.
Okay.
Is it the new one or is it an old one?
It's the one we discussed last time. I shared the old one and
Yes.
this whitelist. So this is the new campaign with the whitelist.
Oh, it's the new campaign with Wild. It's not the same one that we did last time.
No, the last time already killed. We all agreed we killed it, so I killed it right away.
We just review one which you've already reviewed before, so I know what to say and we just walk through it. No, but the whitelist would be good. Yeah, let's pull that one up if you want.
Okay. Yeah, let me share. You can see my screen?
Yeah.
Okay. First of all, immediately with the whitelist, I got every metrics gets much better, especially landing CTR just immediately jumped to nearly 50%. So that's good. So yeah, I've been running this about a month now, actually more than a month. So
well, let me just minimize everybody so I can read the data properly. It's quite small. Can we filter this on? Oh, it's already filtered on spent. Never mind. It's all good. Yeah. Okay. Clear.
Okay. Should we see some ads?
Yeah. If you have questions or you just want to showcase your campaign that's going in the right direction.
Actually, I do want you to see the ICTR. The ICTR, I just can't get it higher than 0.2. I've tested hundreds and just the best are like 0.19, 0.18. But yeah, I have some new angles I'm cooking. I'm making some new headlines, so just keep trying.
Scroll through the images real quick.
Right.
Because we have dark. This is boring. Yeah, this is obviously the shit I see on a daily basis. I see hundreds of these ads a day. And the reason why your ICTR is low, because this is also what users see on a daily basis. Look at that. Let's say you want to bid high reach, you need to pay $1.16 per click just on the initial traction, It's not a surprise to see that's like only 0.1. It's not even 0.5, right? It's not even in the area where you're like, I make some good creatives. And you're already having good click-through rate and the conversion rate at 1%. It's pretty good, right? You need 1% up, so 0.9% global. That could be a huge opportunity. An optimized campaign that's 2.53% conversion rate. However, this is going to be a big bottleneck because right now, if you would feed the campaign more traffic, it becomes profitable. Right? So it is, I can tell you, that's the good news. It is very simple to go from 0.14 to 0.3% ICTR. Your task is not a huge project, but this does showcase your lack of creativity. Right?
Yep.
Which is, you work with the spy tool or not?
No, not anymore. I mean, in the beginning I had spy tool, but not anymore.
The mix. Okay, so in this setup, right? What is being tested? Headlines or images?
Initially, I tested both, and once I nailed down to 1 or 2 headlines, I've tested a whole lot of images. And right now I'm making new headlines. So test new headlines, then maybe move on to new images. Just rinse and
What
repeat.
does your account manager say about this? Because if your account manager should see this ICTR, or at least, you know, the opportunity for reach. So the thing is, the bid, I don't want to confuse people, because I spoke with Ross this morning. You know, Ross joined my coaching team not too long ago. And one thing that he notices very often is that people go blindly on ICTR, you know, but this is not CPM, this is CPC, bidding strategy, right? So although your ICTR would be an indication of better performance, your ads are getting high impressions on a very low bid. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So even though your ICTR goes up, your bid will not go up. Your only potential reach gain will go up. To scale basically more traffic, potential more traffic at the same price.
Same price.
So once you increase the budget, you get more reach and more traffic, and then you have the benefit. Not right now.
Yep.
Make sense? It's a little bit advanced.
Definitely.
Yeah, okay, perfect. So hammering down on these creatives is amazing, but for this campaign at the current status, it will not do anything. It will do something for when you're scaling, when you're taking the profits. Let's jump back into the tracker real quick.
Yep.
Looking at the data, what's the average order value of a conversion?
For me, it's about 150.
150. So you're basically 2 conversions away from profitability for break even, right?
Actually, I'm already break even. The cost on the tracker is a bit higher than the actual cost. So currently it's break even.
Being passed improperly. Well, that's not a big deal, but it's good to. There is a cost adapter. You would have to talk to their support, and you can cut, like, let's say $200 off the cost, and just adjust the cost metric if it's not included in your plan to update manual cost. But that would be nice, because then you have the proper metrics, right?
Right.
You just do this once a week, and then you have a good overview if that's required, because then the CPC parameter is not passed properly on like the 3rd or 4th decimal, and with so many impressions, it goes up. Okay, looking pretty good. What's this column? Let me just move this. All right. What do you feel like? Because I can see from this overview what would be the biggest indicator to make this campaign profitable. Why? What do you think? It's only one thing, and it's the best thing for you, to be fair.
You mean this current screen or overall? Overall, I think it's the ads. I mean,
I think it's not the ads. I think it's one thing that is inevitable. It is time, right? You just need to spend more money to get more data. But if this data remains stable, then as soon as, because you have quite a good split across the widgets, right?
Yep.
You have not one profitable widget, you have several, and they all have a decent amount of visits. It's not like there's like one with 10,000 and the next one is 100 or something. So that setup is quite good. As soon as you start excluding placements, right, your bid will have to come up, and there your ROI will drop. So as soon as that happens, you either are at the point where this campaign is be able to be being pushed forward or not, which is something I would consider, because this looks like a campaign where we would prefer to, let's say, take $300, $400 profit a day instead of 2,000 a day by potentially messing everything up. And I mean, that would be good for you, yeah, 300 a day.
Yeah, makes sense. That's good. Then I can,
So right now, it's just basically applying the CPA rule, playing with the creatives, but it would not have a major impact on this campaign at this stage.
Okay.
Right? Because there's so much reach in your target geo.
Yep.
Yeah. All right. If you wouldn't have that reach, it's a completely different story, right? It's actually the complete opposite at that point.
Yeah, I think a reach shouldn't be a problem, because actually this whitelist is already cut in half. I asked my account manager to cut it half. So after this is all tested, I can maybe ask her to add the other half. Then, so.
And do that. Yeah. Sounds good. So far, so good. Impressive.
Okay.
from what we
Uh,
normally see.
do you want to take a look at my widget page? So this is what I do. If a widget has a conversion, then I tweak the coefficient to get a bit more traffic. So I test it properly, get some results faster.
Okay, widget ending in 3431 is on
3,
very
4.
low reach. A little
Yeah,
bit down.
this one.
3431.
Oh, this one. Yeah.
Yeah. Why is the coefficient here 1.4?
1.4 is about a low reach. I mean, currently it says very low, but it's almost low reach. So I don't want to overspend on widgets, but at least I want some traffic. So I try to keep it at low to medium range.
Right, but there's no actual theory or reasoning behind the adjustment of the coefficients here. It's just go as you feel. Yes?
Yeah, more or less. Yeah.
Which will be great if it turns out great. If there will be bottlenecks in that system, it will be quite a problem figuring out why, right? That will be quite a scope here. So usually with the coefficient, you would make a structure where because the reach indicator low, okay, let me give you an example, yeah? If you have 100,000 reach, yes, then 10% of this is low, right? So if you are in the bottom 10%, it would be classified as low. But if it's 100 reach and you're in the bottom 10%, that's according to their system also low, right? Because you're in the bottom 10%. But the numeric value on the 100,000, you can buy way more traffic than on the 100. So the question is, I don't know, right? Because I am very familiar with this platform. I have a full admin dashboard index of this dashboard, so I can see a lot more things than you guys can see. Okay. But I don't know what this word actually means, low. Is it numeric based in their system, or is it percentage based?
It's percentage based, I asked.
Okay, well, there you go. So then your theory doesn't really fly if it's percentage based, right? What you could do, however, is take the reach relative to the, well, if we assume that on the creative side, ICTRs are all stable, right? It's one creative. Take reach relative to clicks, relative to spend. Because based on that, if something says high and low, you can compare these things against the relative clicks and spend, and then you can see is it actually low or is it the other way around. Make sense?
Yep.
And then if you have a pattern there where it's like low, 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 it's all really low, right? So the system says it exactly how it is. Then you adjust all the colors at the same time, the coefficients. And then you would have a system, right? Because then you just say, all the low ones, we're now going to push the medium to tap into a new reach segment. And if you do that systematically, so what's happening is every time you take an additional block in the system of traffic, and obviously the bid floors go up for those specific segments. So if something goes wrong, then you can just, according to your notes, of course, or like an Excel sheet you keep, or in the tracker you make notes, you can just remove that segment again. And then it should go back to how it was originally performing.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
Little technical, little amount of work, which I would say is a lot more. If I would do it, I would do the same thing as you, right? Just play around with it a little bit, up, down, up, down, up, down. But if you have a campaign which is profitable, you don't want to run it into losses by doing these not thought through things.
Right. Got it. Makes sense. Yep.
Cool. Any questions on this from anybody? Most of you guys are probably like, what the fuck just happened? I just blinked twice and coefficient, what does that even mean? But if you're not there yet, you will get there one day. But Wise has been obviously here for quite a while. No questions on this? Everybody understands this? Everybody thinks it's great? Yeah, Theo is back. Let's go, Theo.
Hi. I could use some explanation about coefficient and stuff.
Is it relevant for you right now? Because it's quite an explanation.
Well, okay. As you wish.
No, not
Just
as I wish, but I mean, like, is it actually useful for you? Or because the coefficient, you might forget it if I explain it right now, and then I have to explain it again at a later stage. You know what I mean?
I don't know. I'm about to start my own campaign these days, so maybe it's useful.
All right, will you run it on MGID? Because MGID is basically the only one that shows coefficient. But let me explain it to you,
Yeah,
right? Because
I think so.
you sound eager. So normally you would have a bid system, but because this bidding strategy is cost per click, there is a lot of other metrics that go about it. Normally you would have cost per 1,000 impressions, CPM, which is very easy to read, right? All the data points are aligned. With CPC, you basically state what you want to pay. They have an optimization algorithm, how good your ads are relative to the other billions of ad impressions they show, and it gets rated on potential reach gain. Where you have this coefficient here, which is relative to your bid. So you set a bid floor in the beginning, and then you're basically saying with the coefficient, you go times a multiple, but they use this numeric value because on the back end, they pay RPM, right? Which is on the publisher side, they make payments as well for showing the impressions, and the coefficients are there matched. So they show you the reach, they show you all these different numeric values, and if you do it without a coefficient, they could do this as well, right? But it's just the input of the system. If you look at this system, the system is old, right? This is not the newest design. This is Windows 95 that you're looking at. If you look in their backend, it's even worse. And therefore, they would show a coefficient where normally in most other platforms, you just put in the bid. Whatever the coefficient is for that specific bid, who the hell cares? It just makes it more complex. However, by making it more complex, if you can read all these data points, like I just explained why, the relative coefficient, so basically meaning bid in this example, because if you should adjust the coefficient, the bid changes, is very important to what the level of reach they indicate, because it might not be how you think it is if you cannot line up all the numeric values. So we have a bias-based, when you see this, you see all these colors, and low is low and high is high. But what does it actually mean? It's always good to review this, right? If you have, and so the coefficient plays a part in the mathematical equation of the system. That's the easy answer. And you only need to touch it when you want to make changes to the bid, and there it is, very simple.
I see.
Because 50 cents, one, if you add 1.1, it adds then 5 cents. Yes? Does that make sense?
Yes, thank you. Okay.
Awesome. Sudhakar, is that a hand? You're a little shy, yeah? Just hand is like this.
No, I'm just I have a question to why. How many creatives you have? Like, what is your CPA, and how are you adding? How many you're adding on a day-to-day basis and all? Yeah.
On this one, I've tested a total 144 creatives. Yeah, I can't say how many per day because I do it by batch. So I prepare in the backend my headlines and images, and once I'm ready, I can just dash it out. Because right now I have talked to my account manager and up my daily limit to 100. So I'm not limited to 10 creatives a day. So I don't need to spread it out day by day. I can just do it to one batch and just upload everything whenever I'm ready.
And your CPA, once it reaches, you'll stop past that and then churn out, or?
Sorry, one more time.
So when you will decide your image, your creative, you're going to pause or continue?
CPA rule, I think.
But CPA rule applies to widgets. It's not to creatives.
So on creatives, you would do the 10,000 impressions, yeah?
Yeah, unless it's clear that the algorithm favors it. So even if the ICTR is low, it has a lot of impression, then I keep it running.
So 10,000, no conversions, you stop it?
Sorry. Conversions
No.
is not a relevant metric on the creatives.
No.
Okay.
So when I look at ads, I don't really take conversion into consideration. So I just mainly look at this and look at the ICTR and also look at the impressions. Because, for example, this one clearly has much more impression than the others, even though the ICTR isn't that great. So I keep it running. But conversion, I don't really consider.
Thank you.
Would you have a scenario with two creatives, one have 100 conversions, the other one, then of course, then you would consider conversions.
Yeah,
right?
if it's.
But in the initial test, it doesn't make sense. We apply a conversion rule, which is a CPA rule, to the widgets, the placement. Yes.
But the last question. So what is the ICTR you look for before deciding? So like a 0.122 you didn't pass versus you have. So what is the limit? How you're doing? Are you doing average of ICTR and then deciding to keep it or leave it? Or?
In general, you would have a master level experience to call out ICTRs, and it will primarily be a guesstimate of what you've seen before, right? So even in the United States, per state, it really differs. Every country differs, every vertical differs. You would have about 280 different variables inside one campaign that make or break different ICTR levels. It's like audience behavior patterns, right? So on that level, it's extremely difficult to give a good indication. However, Nutra US, we have seen so many times that we can give a good indication. However, it's always amazing that if you follow the data, I would say in this campaign, yeah, come on, man, get a 1.5% ICTR. However, these images, they don't have that by far, right? 0.2%. But the algorithm is still feeding these impressions at a very low bid because there's just an insane amount of reach available, which is not being bid on, apparently, which is for why a huge benefit. Would you apply the same thing like this in Slovenia? It's not going to work because there's not enough reach. And that's basically understanding each metric separate and together as a puzzle. Make sense?
Yeah, that's great.
Good questions, Sudhakar. Good questions. Anybody else on the question train? Ruslan.
Okay. Yeah, White. I have one question regarding the whitelist. So you told that you start this campaign with whitelist, but you don't get the whitelist from the beginning, right? From the account manager,
No.
They first give you a blacklist, and then they give you after you run it for $1,000 or something, the whitelist.
Yep.
So how is it working? Just pretty fresh in the native.
My experience is my first one run with a blacklist, and after spending $2,000+, then they introduced me to the whitelist.
So you just ask them, and they see that you spend some things, make some conversions, and they give you a whitelist, right?
Yeah, I don't think they care about conversion. They just care about if you're a serious spender. So.
It would really depend, though. I mean, we have another client who spent $35,000, and they don't give them a whitelist because they just don't have any, right? So
yeah, of course.
Why said really good in his experience, he got a whitelist. I have rarely seen a whitelist for the last 2 months on MGID. All I see is premium blacklist, which can work just as fine, right? It matters a lot more what you're doing with your campaign. That's what they are offering in terms of whitelist and blacklist. Because if you would get the best whitelist possible, you get 5 placements. And if those 5 placements don't convert, you don't have anything. Yeah, so don't bite yourself on the topic of whitelist and blacklist. There's definitely an opportunity with the both of them. So if you get a blacklist at all, you should already be happy that you don't have to run a network. Okay?
Okay, got it.
Anything else for you?
No, that's what I wanted to know. So basically, the best thing for what I can do, so I have around $3,000, which I already spent on MGID.
Okay.
So they're just ready to go. And tomorrow I meet my account manager and just ask them what's best for me, right? So.
Yeah, and of course use your own assets that you have. You know, your account manager, he's a sales guy.
right?
Yeah,
so he
sure.
will tell you whatever he wants you to hear.
But it's in their interest that I will make sales, so I will spend more. So in this case, right?
Yeah, it really depends. So just use your own train of thought. They have one account manager has about 600 clients. So whether you make conversions or not, he doesn't really care unless you make 100, 1,000 conversions a week, right?
Okay.
Because he gets a lot of stories every day, like, oh, I'm going to be the next super affiliate. I'm going to send you crazy conversions, and he's like, yeah, just prove it, because he gets so many applicants you don't even want to know, right? Who want to work on MGID. So the only thing to do is prove it.
Okay, got it.
Yeah, awesome. Eric, you're up.
Am I audible now?
Yeah, I can hear you. Yeah.
Yeah. So this question is for Wei. So how many campaigns have you run so far?
This is the second one.
Okay.
And actually,
So
it's the same one as the first one. It's just, this one is with whitelist. The last one is run on network.
Okay, gotcha. So I'm just wondering, how much effort have you made? I mean, do you do this as a full time or as a part time? You don't need to answer if you don't feel comfortable.
No. I'm doing this full time, but actually the hours I put in, I think you can actually, if you work hard in the evening, it's possible to do it part time, I believe.
Okay. Yeah. So basically for this campaign, you run as daily budget is $100, right?
Yeah.
And okay. Yeah, that's it. I'm just trying to place myself into his position, and apparently he's much smarter and he made lots of effort on this.
No. I'm just a beginner as you are, and yeah, just follow the steps.
Okay.
And that's,
okay,
I think,
thanks.
very important. The steps are very important. Why hasn't rushed it? He's been on these calls for, well, maybe this is our 14th call, 15th call, and he's been here every call.
Every time.
So that's obviously extremely helpful. Theo?
I want to ask you about the pixel. Is it any good? Do you include it in your landers?
Sorry, what's including my lender?
Do you include any pixels, the MGID pixel or any Facebook pixels or analytics? Do you include any kind of tracking?
I'm not sure I understand the question.
Do you use Google Analytics or Facebook pixel or another form or the MGID pixel to retarget your visitor?
No.
Nothing.
I don't do any. No, nothing.
Aren't we supposed to do that? I mean, isn't it useful to retarget some customers maybe to
I don't know,
avoid
maybe, but I don't think I'm at that skill level yet. So I don't worry myself about that yet. Maybe I should.
Okay.
So, Colin, should I?
There's questions. There's always questions, because I'm a skeptical guy. Everybody knows this. I always have a lot of questions. I'm always intrigued. So when I hear remarketing, one of the biggest clients I have yesterday asked about the MGID retargeting pixel. So Theo, it is a very good question. The answer is, why would you do the retargeting?
Why? To retarget some people for another campaign which is into the same niche.
All right, but I can only retarget people who are on the landing page. And where I know on my testing campaign, only 0.1 or 0.01% of all traffic converts, why would I retarget people who are not going to buy?
I don't know.
Perhaps it would be better to
Because
put up that retargeting if we have a CP a total conversion rate over the campaign of 1%. So that means like a conversion rate on the landed to offer of 3 to 4%. And then I would say we target all of them because we can probably get a lot more conversions. But what happens is you drive up your cost by retargeting global traffic if there's no, because the intent was there in terms of the curiosity spark of the ads, but they don't click through the lander, the majority of the users, right? Then the real question is the retargeting going to solve this additional intent of curiosity, or should you reduce the clickbait on your ads? That is the question, right? And that's why we always have a lot of questions. Well, I have a lot of questions because that brings us answers, right? Why we should implement remarketing. I think the remarketing option on MGID is great, right? It's amazing. Preferably, we would do it in an extent on a separate campaign, but it's also tech-wise not fully, it's not 100%. So when you use this, you'll experience some hiccups as well. But if it will bring you warm traffic, then yes, it is definitely beneficial. So use it, yes. Use it in a test campaign, no.
I see. Okay. Then so maybe after the testing phase, I turn it on or something.
Yes, if you would have a small caliber of widgets, let's say 12, 15, 20 widgets, you run 1 or 2 ads consistently, you just refresh the ads every month or so, definitely put retargeting on that specific campaign. Cool.
Okay, thank you.
All right, awesome. Any other questions for Y? Yeah, Pablo, go ahead.
So, can you hear me?
Yep.
Yep.
Colin, you said he lacked some creativity. You thought he was using a spy tool. So, what could we do by far to increase our ICTR?
That's a good one. That's a good one because that's quite a big dilemma. I have like I think 9 students start this week, new ones overall, which you are one of them, right? I think you hopped on Monday. You haven't done the creative aspect yet, most of it, but the problem I see is lack of brain stimulants, right? And I think this is just a general pattern for any citizen of the Western world specifically at the moment, is that the entertainment spree is so big, the service that you're being offered by all these companies is amazing, but slowly it's reducing your brain capacity to think out loud, right? So what happens is we cannot just think or sit down, do nothing and think, right? When you're thinking hard, you see the images of people think hard. This is what we cannot do because all we think about is porno, football, Europa League, money, crypto, all the impulse, right? The whole time, which shows in the creation of ads, right? We have seen something once and we repeat that same pattern because that's a very big path of least resistance, right? If this has worked for Y, it must work for me. Yes, what we're going to do after this call, we're all going to find the vinegar images because Y is using that, he showed us, and everybody will fail because his campaign is not your campaign, right? So I would say sparks of creativity comes when you sit down to do the work, right? And it could be manual spying, browsing on the internet, but this should not be a majority part. The best part, specifically on headlines and angles, is to sit here behind your computer, close the computer, take a pen and paper, and just sit here for 6 hours. Yes, 6 hours. What happens? I am an HDAD kind of guy. So within 2 minutes, I will look outside. Yes, I will look outside and I will see things. I see birds, I see stones on the roof, I see falcon. This is crazy dude walking here with a falcon. And then I get inspired by things I see, right? I hear things. And then what happens is I start to write some things down. Like, hey, this is a crazy falcon that we have here. You don't often see a guy with a huge falcon on his hand, right? So that's quite unique. And then it flows into other segments. The best thing there is for me is when I've been to the gym, I take a shower and I take a cold shower and all of a sudden the creativity just pours through my fucking brain. I don't have a notepad to write it down, but I think like, oh, this would be cool, this would be cool, this would be cool. But that happens is because you are looking for it so much and it doesn't occur, and then it all occurs at once. But what happens when we look at creative parts of other people, you steal their shit, basically, right? And that's not being creative, that's something else. So we know before and after works well, so that would definitely be interesting to pursue. However, why don't we start at page 25 in Google and see what we find instead of starting at page 1? Because page 1 to 5, every image has been saved by the group of people on this call right now, right? So we need to start at page 25, or you need to alter the search terms. So one of my things I did lately when I was building a before and after for a private client was I went to VK. So it's like the Russian Facebook, which opened huge doors for me because they use a different typography, right? They use like a different characters to write. So I just put in before and after pictures in Russian, and all of a sudden I got like crazy good before and after pictures, which nobody in the Western world has seen ever, because you would never be able to find them in Google because you don't use the right words. And it's those little sparks of, I wouldn't say intelligence, but unmanageable creativity, which just spark out of nothing and then lead you into a direction, and you will use that method for the next 3 years. So it's not consistent creativity, it's just you find something genius once and you repeat that. Aleno, you found something genius, you double down 50 times on it, and it's paid off 1,000,000 times, right? But it's one thing, which is amazing. But we all can do this because we all have at least time. Time is the factor that it requires. I think that's primarily it, the full rant. Does that make sense? It's not helpful at all in terms of how do you get creative, but those are aspects that you could apply to get more creative. One great thing for you could be a walk in the woods. Yes, and that's basically the opposite of doing work, but that will give you a lot of, what's it called? Ease of mind, is that what it's called? Just calmness, calmness to think. And then each person would experience that kind of behavior in his own way. I like to hang out with dogs, and there's not ugly girls, but like dogs as in pets, right? And with these pets, they just, you throw the ball, this and that, and these dogs, they just run, right? You're performing some physical activity, but at the same time, you are engaged in activity, and therefore, I just get all kinds of sporadic ideas. And you have to find that what works for you. Maybe it's playing guitar, but it's not that hipster that you need to do a hipster activity to get a hipster result, right? You can also just sit at your laptop and write things down in a Word document. It might work the same way. But you have to do something. The action part is very important. And sometimes the action is no action, which is still some form of action. All right, that's it. That was my hippie answer of the day. Good?
Okay. I was just thinking that an image should trigger an emotion. We talked about this with Ross. So that's why I try to follow a pattern. And but yeah, maybe I should try to think out of the scheme, and because if everybody think that way, everybody do this, and there's no room for any other, and yeah, it makes sense.
Right. I would say the image could trigger an emotion. It could also state a problem. It could state a solution, right? It can be presented in different ways. However, the emotional part is very strong, right? The emotional relation with something will give us a big opportunity. However, we have 20-ish people on this call here, a little bit more than 20, and the emotional behavior for each of these individuals is different. So you would have to generalize it, right? The emotional part, and then actually understand for that specific audience what the emotional aspect on it is. So when you talk about obese people or fat people, a healthy diet, they couldn't give a fuck about, right? Because if they would care, they wouldn't be fat. So they definitely don't want a diet. But let's say you mention the word diet, then you better mention it in a context where stick to no diet or the donut diet or the Burger King diet, right? Where there has an emotional connection to their being, or however you want to phrase it. But that's very important, because the copy as well as the image you can think that because you're not fat, right? You're not in that specific audience group. So then as a marketer, we want to make assumptions that you have at least some arguments on why you think that is the case. Or you get a complete mismatch, and the data will show you that it's a mismatch. So your ICTR will be very low.
Okay, thanks, Colin.
You're welcome. Anybody else with the questions for why, or for myself, or for anybody else? No? Yeah, William, go ahead.
Hi, Wai.
Hi.
So I have a question about your bid. So last time when you showed your campaign, the bid was much lower than this. But maybe you might have said about this today in today's conference, but I could have missed it. But I wonder why the bid has sold so much.
Yes, because the last campaign is different. It's run on network, so I was looking at maybe 3,000 plus placements. So obviously, if I bid 44 cents back then, it's gonna the spend is gonna be crazy. But this one is with a whitelist. Currently, I'm looking at a 250 placement. So I started at I think 25, and I'm gradually increase it to 44 right now. But because it's a smaller with a whitelist, smaller placements, so I can handle it with 44 compared to the other campaign.
I see. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Awesome. Anybody else? No? Thanks, Wai. That was great. Oh,
okay,
Theo.
thank you very much. Oh.
You can close the screen share though, that's fine. But we'll pick up Theo.
Right. I want to ask, this campaign is run on one country only?
Yes, just one geo, the US.
It's better to divide the countries, right? To run a campaign, the same campaign in different countries, separate campaigns, right?
Yeah, that's my understanding. I also separate device, so this one is desktop only.
Yeah, okay.
So again, Theo, because that's an interesting question, yes? Again, I have questions for you on your question. Why would you cluster different geos in one campaign?
To have more clear understanding and data, and not mess up with the amount of data.
Okay, so let's say I have 3 different countries in one campaign: Canada, US, UK, right? Both tier 1 English, right? All in one campaign. How would that work? Because then I get a lot of data. Yes, that's the benefit, right? You get more data. The audience behavior patterns are quite similar, so that's good. But then why just said, and you agreed, that we should not do this?
We shouldn't.
Yeah. But I'm asking, why should you not do this?
I think I heard from you from another session that can you hear me now? Okay.
Yeah, I can hear you. I can hear you.
I think I heard from you from another session that it is better to separate the geos.
That's true, but now the question is why?
In order to have more clear data over each country.
Well, specifically in this scenario, audience behavior patterns are the same. So we would only cut them up if the audience behavior patterns are not the same. So US, Canada, Colombia, the people in Colombia have a very different vision on life than people in the United States, right? Because of their circumstances. It's both tier 3 countries, but well, that's a joke. Of course, US is not tier 3, but on the level, it has a simple reasoning, because almost 99% of the offers in the affiliate space are geo-capped, right? So US offers only accept checkouts from the United States. So if you add 3 different countries, then you need 3 different flows. The tracker needs to identify the country. It's a mad technical setup where we could just easily split them, because the offer doesn't accept purchases from Canada is if a US geo offer. Make sense?
Yeah, I know that.
That's basically it. So that's why you should almost never bundle countries in one campaign, because then you need to do a country identifier, which we don't really want. Make sense? Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
Eric?
Yeah, so actually, I'm glad you asked this question. So what if the same network, same offer, they offer different, they offer the same offer for different geos? Let's say it's it's an offer for European countries, and let's say they offer some like a the creatives for, let's say, Spain and France. So, and then the traffic, not France, let's say Russia. So let's say that the traffic is not expensive. So in this case,
Sorry,
is it reasonable
Eric, you would have to repeat the question. I already lost you. What is the exact question?
So the question is, in that case, is it reasonable to run the offer, to run the campaign in different geos?
What is it? I heard Spain and Russia, but those are 2 very different geos. So you have an offer in Spain and the same offer on the same network in Russia. Yes?
Yeah, exactly.
You would have to run them in different campaigns because they don't speak Russian in Spain.
Right. Yeah. So in that case, I will run as a different. I will treat them as a different campaign, right?
Right. But 99% of the time, you will always treat it as a different campaign. That's like a fixed rule I can give you guys. New offer, new campaign. Unless it's almost a similar offer, not almost, in the same geo. Almost a similar offer in the same geo. For example, some ClickBank Nutra products, you can rotate the top 5. But if it's an offer for the UK, obviously you cannot add this into the mix because the conversions are not being counted because they're not the right geographical location of the user.
Okay, all right. Yeah, that's
Makes sense?
Yeah, makes sense.
All right, perfect. Ruslan?
Yeah, Colin, if you don't mind, I'd like also to show you my campaign, which is not running right now. I just set up different pictures in different angles and also headlines, so you can take a look. Okay, will be great. Let me share. Yeah, here. So you see, some of them are all rejected. So for example, this one. The reason they tell it's an alcoholic drink, but I mean, where you can see that's an alcoholic drink. All right. Do it make sense? So to talk with my account manager and ask them so they can push this through.
Yeah, that's worth a shot.
Yeah, and that's what I'm planning. This one was also rejected, so I just put it again back because I plan to talk with my account manager. And the reason was it was an amateurish picture, and I cannot understand why they say it's amateurish. So I will try to push this also through.
All right.
I just try to find pictures which create curiosity so people will click. Same thing, this was also rejected. I just put it again back. And the reason was they told it's something's like an alcoholic machine, which
Yeah,
makes
it looks
alcohol.
like alcohol dispenser. Yeah,
Yeah,
which is
alcohol
obviously
dispenser.
it's not allowed. But yeah, let's scroll through your creatives a little bit. Which language is your computer?
My language?
Yeah, on the computer, I see the toolbar.
You mean what did you? So I run it for English speaking.
Yeah, but your computer itself.
My
Like the
PC is in Russian PC.
Russian.
That's
Okay,
why I
хорошо.
have. Да, хорошо. Yeah, that's why I have it in Russian. Little bit.
Да, конечно.
Yeah.
Let's look at the creatives.
Yes, same thing here. So it was rejected. I just put it back. So I plan just to show it tomorrow my account manager. So maybe it will help. The reason was also picture looks amateurish. Right?
Yeah, but the fire is not allowed. So fire is never allowed, even not in hot brick.
Ah, really?
Yes, open fire is not allowed because fire is symbolized like danger, right?
But it's not open fire. It's like
yeah, like shisha fire.
Yeah,
yes?
this one.
Yeah, but that's still fire.
Okay.
If you put it to your skin, it still burns.
Oh, okay, makes sense.
Mister, this is machine gun, but I not shoot it. But it's just machine gun. You know, it's still a gun.
Got it. Got it. Then I have this kind of pictures, and
that's a crazy mix, Ruslan. You have here. There's like no pattern at all, right? It's just like a random mix of different images.
Yeah, so I have 10 images where I focus on strange fruits, 10 images where I focused on strange, strange tonics and all the stuff like this. And
so 10, you uploaded one of each or two of each?
Yes, 10 of each ankle. So 10 strange fruits, 10 different tonics or something what you can drink. Also, the stranger the better because of curiosity, and 10 before and after pictures.
Okay, and then what about the headlines? So the headlines are unique to these
images? Each ankle has 2 headlines. So I put 5 images with one headline and another 5 in the ankle with another headline. Right. So that's how I make this. I can show you here the headlines.
Can you show me a file with all the images, please?
I can show you the headline so you understand. So I have before after ankle, I have strange tonic ankle and strange fruit, right? And before after has this 2 headlines, strange tonic has this one, and strange fruit has these 2 ankles and 2 headlines. And I use these two headlines in one ankle. Right, so that's
yeah, it's quite a crazy structure you have here, Ruslan. I've seen obviously crazier structures, but that's a lot of mix and match. There's no real. Normally, you would have, let's say, 1 headline or 2, and then you test the fruits first, or you test the before and after first. So we keep it coherent, right? So we either know it works or it doesn't work. But what you're doing is like taking all your shit and like bang, just.
But I've discussed this with Ross, and so she told me. So maybe I understand him wrong. I don't know. So she told me make 3 ankles. Each ankle's 10 images, and for each ankle you have 2 different headlines.
Yeah, that's what you did.
So 5 images will be 1 headline. The other 5 will be the second headline.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
So
test one angle per time, Ruslan.
What again?
Test 1 angle per time.
So one angle at a time. So basically, the setup is fine, right, Ruslan? So the images and the headline, we do this with everybody, right? Pablo just did it. Hassan is doing it. It's fine. But the question is, however, when you upload this, right? You are doing some marginal work, right? You do like 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, 4, 4, 5, 5 in terms of how they match. I think it would be easier for you to be able to understand and read the data if you would upload before and after first, or you would do strange.
No, I done this. That's what you mean. So the structure in the campaign.
Yeah.
Yes, I done this, but because I got rejected, then I put another, then it's become a salad, and I cannot how I can make a structure here. I don't know. You know, I can just click on create new ad, then I create new ad. And of course, I love structures also. So I created first 10 pictures of before and after, then 10 of the other, and 10 of the other stuff. But after time, it's starting to be without structure, you know. So how I can struct this, I don't know.
Well, you don't necessarily have to structure the overview, but you decided to mix in a different sub-angle, right? So the exchange didn't make it chaotic, you made it chaotic, right? By adding in sub-angles. I don't really understand why you did it, but right now you have what you have, right? So you need to work with what you got. It will still function the same way. It will just be a little bit more difficult to, oh, hang on. Why is the cost per click different for these two creatives? One is 7.3 and the other is 6.
Yeah, that's what I
6.6.
also wanted to ask you, because I don't understand what I need to choose. I always try to choose so the parameter shows me the middle. And
yeah, we use 25% of suggested bid.
That means what must be here?
25% of suggested bid. So when you create a campaign, it gives you a suggested bid and you take 25% of that. So you almost always end up in very low if you want to follow the colors.
No, but because suggested bid was always around 6-7 cents. That means I need 25%. I need to make it even lower.
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
So it's too high.
Well, I don't know what the suggested bid is. That's why I'm saying 25% of suggested bid.
And how can I see this? If I click on edit normally and save, normally I see this below here, right?
You see it in the campaign creation settings. However, I'm telling you right now, it's almost always very low, right? When you get the data pools, right now you have medium and it's very low.
Okay. So, and how I can see again the suggested bid because I don't know this. How I can see it?
As soon as it runs, you get the color codes and then you select very low. But I can tell you right now, just switch it to like 2.5 cents and then it will be in the very low range.
Yeah,
however,
makes sense.
What you do is you do that for all the creatives, not one. So they all have to be on the same bid to start off with.
Okay, so just 2.5 cents for each of creative, right?
Yes, that's right.
Okay, got it. Yeah, then I can show you the other pictures so you can tell me what you think about this, right?
You want to know what I think, or you want to hear some improvement?
I want to hear what you think and also what I can do if they're good,
Okay,
if they're shit, you know.
I think the 5 rules of a good creative are extremely important in general, and I don't know if most of these images follow those rules. Take for example this lady, or I hope it's a lady, which is holding some fruit. There's a lot going on in that image, right? She's looking at the camera, which is great. She has a bright shirt, which is great. She's holding the fruit, it's great. The fruit is not big enough. The cabin behind her is filled with like fucking junkyard crap. The red paper on the table is pulling a lot of attention. So if this image strikes you as intriguing, for me, no. It's just a granny trying to offer me some fruit. Maybe she's a predator, maybe she's not. But this is not a good image for me. Because all these different variables, so it's not just one thing in this image, it's like a handful of elements. Where you have, let's say, the lychee fruit, right, the red one with the spikes, it's very zoomed in, right? It looks like 2 balls with spikes right now, and there's not much to it otherwise. So it says, why this Japanese fruit melts fat like crazy, Dr. Shocked. Is, I would say, for generic angles, you hit 100%, because this is an angle that probably with you today, 1,000 other affiliates are running, if not 5,000. So it's not bad per se, but in terms of creativity, this is on the lower side of the scale, right? So this might definitely work. It's just not my favorite approach to go this route. Because the reason why so many people run it, because it tends to work most often, right? But Do you want to settle for 30% ROI or 80 or 100%? Do you want it to run 1 week or do you want it to run 6 months? And those elements you should take into consideration. Definitely. Cool?
Yeah, cool.
All right. Anything else for you, Rusman?
Yeah, that was it, I think. So.
Yeah. Anybody has questions for Rusman so far or not? Or anybody has questions in general? We have 12 minutes left. Theo, let's go. You're on a roll today. Perfect.
Yeah, I'm on fire. Colin, can you repeat that last part about the difference between running a campaign for 6 months or for 3 weeks?
Oh, what I actually meant by this is in terms of the creativity inside the headline, the image, you know, if it's very repetitive, if it's been online for a long time, then campaigns die out very quickly. So if you have something extremely unique, self-made, you know, unique, trending, maybe even, you know, it might be running for a long time because nobody has this. So the user, it will be like a first view for everybody, first based impression.
Okay, so a unique approach has the potential to run for longer.
Definitely. On native, it is not uncommon for profitable campaigns to run anywhere between 2 to 6 months. But the ad fatigue, so it's not necessarily the headlines. The headlines you can keep, the images you would have to refresh bi-weekly, normally on a big scale campaign.
I see, okay.
Yeah?
Can I ask you something else?
Yeah, while you're ready, go ahead.
About this masterclass, is this masterclass part of our Debut subscription?
Yeah.
I mean, so you make like weekly master classes along with our Debut subscription, right?
Yeah, as long as I feel like it. That's right.
Okay, because I didn't knew how exactly.
Yeah, I think it's really helpful. I think the price obviously is a joke, but everybody seems to be having a lot of fun on these calls, learning a lot. So fuck it, you know. Summer is coming. It's a little bit of free time for everybody, so we can study together. So Tuesdays and Thursdays, we'll do these calls, and you usually get invites. I say Friday, but it's always a lie. I send it on Sunday or Monday, right? You get an invite in your email, and you can see it on your Google Calendar if you use it.
Okay,
yeah.
Great.
Yeah. Okay. Awesome. Okay. Let's call out some names. Jesus, how are you? All good?
I'm okay, Colin. How's it going, man?
You're not in prison?
No, not
I
yet.
see it looks like you're wearing an orange jumpsuit. Oh, there's somebody there. Okay, that's not prison.
Yeah, that's my wife.
Hello.
Hey, Colin, I just wanted to ask you on this the affiliate network, and if you're looking for like tier 2, tier 3 South America, which one would you like? I've been accepted to a few ones, but I just want like if I have to have two, the most
Latin America, yeah. Elena, which one did we look at today? Seidu? Which one was it again?
We looked at Zaidu,
Seidu.
And the other one was ActionAd. That's my blog.
Oh yeah. Can you write it in the chat box? Because we spent like 30 minutes looking for Latin American offers, but the Sea-Doo turned out to be having quite a lot of offers. There are some smaller networks like Lead Wolves, but I heard not so just good experience from other affiliates with them.
Okay, because you know what, when I was doing the course, I got accepted to a bunch of them, like the Big Band, Max Bounty, but I just wanted to go and see, like for me, I'm gonna try to see if I can get into tier 2 Spanish countries.
What would have your preference, for example?
I'm sorry?
Which geo would have your preference if you could pick?
You know, I think I heard you last time that, you know, Peru, maybe Chile.
Yeah, I think maybe at Combo has some offers there as well. At Combo, at Terra Leads.
I have that. Yeah. Okay.
You have Terra Leads as well? That's been quite hot lately. It's up and coming network.
No, that one. Macuba. And what about for Spain?
Spain, you can go any tier 1 network, click dealer, Yap ads, anything like that.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah, that
Thank
would
you.
be good. But it's obviously what you have to take into consideration is infrastructure in these countries. So they will offer a set amount of offers and nothing else. The reason being is because the infrastructure is just not so good, whether it's delivery of the products or the actual financial fintech advancements that they have. So that's obviously to consider. That's why you see a lot of cash on delivery there, because that model just works really well instead of straight sale.
Okay.
But it's a huge market with a lot of potential. Yeah.
Awesome.
All right.
Thank
Let's
you.
go to welcome. Roshan, you good? You've been quiet?
It's Colin, all good. It's just my second session, just trying to absorb the facts and try to start a campaign. So maybe next time I'll have something to show you.
Next week we'll hear from you. Yeah? Oh, awesome.
Right.
And we'll go to Anchor. Anchor, you good too? He's like, oh no, it's me. He's
Yeah. It's my second session also. So I'm just grabbing whatever information is being shared here.
All right, awesome. Just taking it all in. Yeah. No campaigns yet, live?
Not yet. It's
Not
the second
yet.
session. It's my first week. Like
Oh,
I just
first
joined
week.
on Monday.
Oh, well,
Tuesday.
then you did a good job. 2 sessions and you were here twice. That's good. But you can learn. That's fine. Cheers. Let's go to my boys. My boys. Yes. Are you guys here? He's smiling. He knows his time. Yes. Elijah, go unmute.
Hello, everyone. Thank you. Fine.
Just a dog jump on your lap. Was that a dog or not?
No.
Oh, I saw a dog in the corner of my eye. But how is the campaigns going?
It looks like our first campaign got some conversions.
Okay. Don't tell everybody.
Looks like have attraction.
Well, that's the hard work, right? That's the hard work you put in, because every week I see you guys pushing it, and this is the reward you're getting. So that's awesome. Is push still?
It's only a couple of conversions, but already some traction.
The couple is better than nothing.
We have started new campaign just today, and looks like very, very fast the conversions came, you know.
Awesome. And you're happy, of course.
We will see.
We'll see. All right, perfect. Thanks, guys. We have 5 minutes. Anybody has any last question? Faxley, yeah, go ahead.
My question is how sweepstake offer makes money for advertiser who provide these sweepstake offers.
Oh, that's a good question. So every sweepstake opt-in has a privacy policy attached to it. And if you click on this privacy policy, it will show all the advertisers that leads are being sold to. So usually it has about 16 different call centers and about 12 to 50 different email providers. So the email and the phone numbers are being mass sold. So when you get $2 for this lead, they say sell this lead for 20 cents, but to 60 different parties, and that's how they make money. So,
so they get money money by collecting users' information and resell it to
what you sell
others.
them, basically, right? You sell them, you give them the opt-in, and then they monetize it in a deeper funnel with different offers, right? When the user is still online. But also, let's say I sell your information, right? Flexly, sell your phone number. Then within 1 day, you get calls from 12 different companies because they all want to call the fresh lead. So it's like, hey, you want to buy insurance? You want to buy electricity? You want to buy a new car? Flexly, you want a new car or not? You want? No? Okay. But they all call you, right? And they try to sell you. And that's basically their business model. But they don't do 1 lead a day. They do 50,000 leads, 100,000 leads every single day. And leads stay in their database for 90 days, and then they can sell it again. But they cannot sell the same lead in the database for 90 days. Some advertiser is 180 days. Understood?
So, yeah. So they will classify all the lead they collected, right?
Sorry?
So the advertiser will classify all the data they get from the sweepstake niches you run. Say you, those are phone sweepstakes, car sweepstakes, supermarket car sweepstakes. They will classify it and resell these to the companies who have those products.
Not necessarily those products. So the sweepstake offers themselves for a supermarket is just bait for people to opt in. They don't sell the sweepstake supermarket to supermarkets. They sell it to anybody who wants to buy the leads, which is primarily insurance companies, other business to consumer, household living requirement needs, solar panels, that kind of stuff.
Okay, I get it. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. You're welcome.
Yeah.
2 minutes, Hassan. Got to be quick.
Yeah, sure. Quick question. I have an offer for COD, and in the offer page, they have a push like a database.
Yes.
And did the database track like my affiliate link, or is it not the case?
No, it's not the case. It's just more business for them. And you know what they say?
If you allow or block, the database is a simple database, a push notification on the browser.
Yeah.
Is a conversion killer, or what do you think about this? Should I?
No, it's just a benefit for the network.
For the network.
But you think they should share this conversion with you that they make the money?
Of course.
Yeah, but you know what the network says?
What it says?
Fuck you. They take all the money. They're not going to share this with you. It's their page, right? So if you want to do, sorry, it was a joke. But they, no, the push database is very common to collect, and they spam this database like crazy. They send 3 messages every single day. If they're a little bit more calm, they send 1 message every 3 days, but they try to make them convert, and that's just more money for them. Right? Which, if you were the advertiser, you would probably do the same, right?
Sure.
That's usually how we think about it. Even if somebody clicks on this and not on converting, they were not going to convert anyway. So it's okay.
Okay.
It's the same thing as the back button redirect script. 1 in every 5,000 clicks maybe converts. Very little. Yes. But that's an interesting question. That's a good observation there. Thank you, Hassan. You enjoyed your smoke?
Yes, of course.
That's something I don't usually see people smoking on these calls. That was quite unique. I only experienced it once on a sales call when somebody was smoking. I was like, well, this is weird, but I'm happy you enjoyed it. Neil, how are you doing today? You good? You've been quiet.
Yes, I've been quiet. I've been absorbing a lot of information like a fire hose here. So, I want to say thanks to everybody for their good questions, and it's really beneficial. I've run a couple tests on my own. I learned some things. I had some technical problems. I need to do a bunch more. I'm a little constrained right now. I operate another business as well, and it's very demanding at this time. So at the moment, this week, I'm gathering information. In another week or 2, I can reapply myself to run tests again.
That's good. Sounds good. You will be back with us on Tuesday, I hope.
I'm going to keep coming to these as much as I can.
Awesome.
It's very beneficial.
I hope all of you do the same.
Yeah, very beneficial. Thank you very much.
All right, welcome. Thanks, guys, for being here once more. Candace, thank you for showing up. Jesus, Roshan, Mauricio, Eric, Alena, Theo, Ross, Sean, Ruslan, William, Elijah, Fexley, Hassan, Neil, White, Pablo, and of course myself. Have a great start of your weekend. Although it's Thursday, we still need to grind out tomorrow. But I will see you guys on Tuesday, where I'm going to try and think of something new, something interesting. Get everybody on board, perhaps show you some more advanced mechanics. Will be great. Have a great rest of your day, and good luck.